And now we've seen my number 5 favorite cutscene in the Tomb Raider trilogy. It's very tragic what happened, but I think it was handled very well. And I also thought it was very foreshadowed very well because you're going to see on the corner of the screen right now, but the fate of Laura's mother was actually foreshadowed plenty of times throughout this game. Because towards the end of the Croft Manor level, we got to see what the portrait of Laura's parents looked like, and you may notice that half of the face of Laura's mother was gone. And also, the gate leading up to Helheim showed a woman with a half a human, half a dead face.
Shut it down! Lara, unexpected, but I'm glad you're here. You should be allowed to see firsthand the fruits of your labor. That's the Midgard serpent. Of course not. Jormungandr is the network of tectonic ridges that encircles the Earth on the ocean floor. And we stand now on its weakest point, where the ancient supercontinent Pangaea first broke in two. When this relic unleashes its fury below, the very seams of the planet will burst. The Midgard serpent will rise up and spew poison into the air. All the world will be consumed by fire and ash. Ragnarök! The seventh age is upon us!
Hey everybody, what's the gear to you, and welcome to the finale of Tomb Raider Underworld. Throughout this Let's Play, we've been searching for Meginjord and Mjolnir as a way to help us open the way to Helheim/Avalon to discover what happened to Laura's mother all that time ago. And in the previous episode, we found out just what happened to her. And while it wasn't the ending that we were hoping for, at least we got some closure on that subject. But now, none of that matters right now because Natla has raised Jormungandr, and it's our job to stop her. So, I'm going to talk about that cutscene that happened in the previous episode, because I didn't really get a whole lot of time to explain what was going on, because I felt my dumb voice would have ruined the atmosphere of that cutscene if I spoke during it or anything like that. So, right now I would just like to say that was my number 5 favorite cutscene in Tomb Raider Underworld. But there's a couple things that kind of drive me crazy about that cutscene, to be completely honest. For one, Nada says that all that time that she had spent having Laura and Amanda, as she said, being the actors in her play, just to get to that spot so that Laura would die right there. But then Nada leaves the room. Nada's very capable of killing Laura herself right there, and she had the opportunity, but she didn't take it. And while this does make me happy that my waifu can live to fight another day, it's just one of those cliches I see all the time with villains like that, where they had the opportunity to destroy the hero, but they didn't take it, and it just drives me crazy. And another problem they have with that cutscene is it doesn't really give a whole lot of good closure for the doppelganger, because if you're playing on any other version of this game, that is the last that you ever see of the doppelganger. However, this is the Xbox 360 version, and there is a special DLC mission made to address that problem. We won't see it for a little while, but trust me, we have not seen the last of the doppelganger, at least for now. Now this right here is a pretty interesting puzzle, because as I've mentioned before, the bosses in this game aren't necessarily combat focused, they're more for falling to your doom. Alright, don't mind me, I'm just going the wrong way because I'm an idiot. Alright, so yeah, you want to go this way instead because there's a grapple ring over there that'll help us climb down to the lower parts of this area. I'm going to be honest, I do get lost sometimes when going through this place because the layout is a little bit confusing. But it is the last part of the game, so it's not supposed to be easy. Something that does that did kind of bother me when I first played through this game. Now, as I mentioned a couple videos ago, I didn't get this far in the Wii version, so I didn't know that this was the last part of the game was like. But when I was younger and only played the Wii version, it did always bother me how we never had like a proper boss fight in this game. And if I had made it to this far in the Wii version, I'm pretty sure I would have also complained about the fact that we didn't have a proper final boss either. But thinking about it now, this kind of reminds me of the final boss in Portal. And I won't go any spoilers right there, but if you play that game, then you know what I mean. It's more like a puzzle-based final boss rather than combat-focused one. You're avoiding Natla's attacks while she's having thralls go after us all the time. And it is pretty interesting. I would have probably preferred like a one-on-one battle with either Natla or their doppelganger or something like that. But I still think this is a pretty interesting concept for a final boss. And as you can tell by the fact that I'm going back and forth, I'm a little bit lost right now. Alright, so after you take care of that, the next thing that you're going to want to do is climb to the lower part of the level. And I'm going to be honest, this is a level that I get very confused on easily. So I do apologize, there's going to be a lot of editing this time around to edit out my dumb moments where I don't know off the top of my head what I'm supposed to be doing. But there's a throw right there we can take care of, so you're defeated, yay. And now we can go over here and activate this thing. So basically the goal of this puzzle is to navigate around these ruins to try to activate these three switches that we can destroy with Mjolnir. So that's basically the idea of this place. It's just navigating it that can be a little bit confusing. And I practiced like crazy when I was going through this area, so yeah, even though I did practice for crazy like this, and this is not going to be fun. But luckily, the final one is right here. So all we need to do now is climb to the higher part of the level, so we can destroy with Mjolnir. At least I hope that's the last one. I'll be wrong by that. I know there's 3 of them, and I'm pretty sure we activate 3 of them already. But to be honest, I've been here for like 20 minutes already trying to navigate this place because I got confused trying to get down here. So, yeah, I do apologize for that. Luckily, there's no artifacts or rewards or anything like that for us to collect because that'd be another thing that I have to worry about. But no, we already got them all. We already got all the ones in the game, so yay, we don't have to do as much effort as we usually have to do. So, one thing that I'm trying to say, but I keep getting interrupted because I keep getting lost in this area, is when I first played Tomb Raider Underworld, as I mentioned a couple videos back, I didn't make it this far in the Wii version of this game, but I just know that with my mindset back then, if I had made it this far, then I probably would have been disappointed that there was no proper final boss against like Natla or the Doppelganger or anything like that. This right here is essentially the final boss of this game. Just like the rest of the game, like with against the Kraken or anything like that, all the boss fights, quote-unquote, are more puzzle-based than anything else. So you could think of it more along the lines of something like Portal, where the final boss in that game is more based on puzzle-solving than combat or anything like that. But after we take care of that, those stones will start floating around the place, and we'll be able to use those to navigate the area easier. And we'll be able to reach the other stone thingy-majiggers. Yay! I'm the best at speaking, aren't I? So I believe the next thing we want to do is... not right there. We want to climb these things. Eventually. It'll come around eventually. And jump. So jump! There we go. I really do like this area right here. This, navigating this part where with these flying stone taxi things, this part right here is really cool. I really do like it. That one's broken off, so the next one I'm going to go to is somewhere around here. That's not the next one. This is the next one we want to go to. Whoa, that was cool. That normally doesn't work. That's not the way you're supposed to do it, but I'll take it. We want to jump up here. Normally you're supposed to climb down there, climb into the center area. Like I'll point out when we get there. Let's climb over here. Normally you're supposed to climb into that spot right there and climb your way up, but we didn't have to do any of that because we did some sequence breaking. And that may have actually been a bad thing, because I think we actually... no, we're not supposed to secure this one yet. We're supposed to secure the other one. Yay! Alright, do that. So let's go over here. Next thing you want to do is use the grappling ring to climb upwards. And we'll be able to climb up here. Let's go down a little bit. Hopefully this will work. That didn't work. Alright, so the next area you want to go towards is over here. And this could be a little bit tricky to do, but if you do the jump correctly, then we can go over here. Please, 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 please. Yay, we did it! I always get really nervous about that one because I always get nervous that it's going to get buggy and I'm going to fall off the face of the earth or something like that. But no, we did it. And we want to wait for our taxi to arrive. It's not a taxi, but you get the point. Remember that time that I said that the jump's gonna be buggy? Okay. Now we're gonna be going over here, and eventually we'll reach our destination. I believe this is the final one. So without further ado, let's destroy it. And I lied. There's actually one more thing we need to destroy. So next thing you want to do, there's some grappling rings right there for your convenience. So we can climb down here and go this way. I would wonder why those grappling rings are all over the place, and I would criticize Nala by saying that, you know, if you just destroy those grappling rings, then there'd be no way Laura could climb around these areas. But knowing Natla and knowing that she was exposed to the Scion, which gives you all the knowledge of the ancients and things like that, she probably saw an alternate timeline where Laura was able to get to this area with the magical powers of PlayStation 1 platforming. Alright then. So while we go over here and as we climb Jomungandr, there is something that I'd like to say real quick. First of all, I absolutely love the detail of the Midgard serpent head on top of the statue. That's a really clever detail, and this entire area just looks really amazing. And another detail that I'd like to point out is the fact that Amanda, I didn't really get a good chance to point this out, but Amanda actually still has that scar from when Laura did the pistol whip at the ending of Tomb Raider Legend, which is a really nice detail because it adds some continuity to the game, and I really appreciate that. But now that we've taken care of all that, it's time to destroy the Midgard serpent once and for all.
What if you clear the corridor and get us out of here? Out of juice, just like Bolivia. The good news is we saved the world. The bad news is now we're gonna die here. Huh, just like your mother. Wait. Mother must have tried to use it to escape, but didn't know how. If pulling out these artifacts always brings you here, what will happen if I'm already here? Maybe you'll go to hell. Damn it! I can't reach the sword. But you can. What about you? I can reach you if you hold out your hand. You trust me? We're out of time, Amanda. So it's back to this, is it? What? You think we're even? Would killing me make us even? Goodbye, Mother. Rest in peace.
This is going to be really hard to believe, but we are finally done with Tomb Raider Underworld. Man, I'm just so happy with how this turned out. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time, and it's so surreal to know that not only are we done with this game, but we've wrapped up the majority of Tomb Raider trilogy as a whole, because this is something that's taken a very long time to plan out. From originally deciding that I wanted to do Tomb Raider Underworld as a Let's Play at all, to realizing that my subscriber count had tripled since the Legend Let's Play, and I wanted to go back and redo Legend Anniversary first. So, now that we've taken care of all that, I am just really happy with how this Let's Play turned out. And as I mentioned a couple of videos ago, if it wasn't for nostalgia bias with Tomb Raider Legend, then Underworld would no doubt be my favorite game in the Tomb Raider series. That being said, We are still not quite done with Tomb Raider Trilogy yet. So even though we are done with the 3 main games, there are still a couple bonus episodes that I'd like to take care of before we're completely done with the trilogy. There are bonus episodes we'll be taking care of for Legend Anniversary. My current mindset is that there are going to be 2 for Legend, 1 for Anniversary. There will be a Craft Miner episode for both of those games, and Tomb Raider Legend will have something pretty special that I can't really say much about without spoiling the idea behind the video. But basically, it's just going to be like a little guide for something not directly involved with the game itself, but something that a certain community within the Tomb Raider fan base would be happy to know about. So, with that being said, Tomb Raider Underworld also has a series of bonus episodes we'll be taking care of as well, in the form of DLC, because the Xbox 360 version has 2 exclusive DLC levels, Beneath the Ashes and Laura's Shadow. These have never been available on any other platform that this game has been available on. I don't even think it's on the Tomb Raider Trilogy compilation on PlayStation 3. As far as I know, it's only ever been available on Xbox 360. But basically, these give us some more backstory behind a couple of the story events, and also provide some better closure for characters like Natla and the Doppelganger. So this is something we'll be taking care of a little bit down the line. It'll probably be like a Season 2 kind of a project, like what we're doing with Captain Toad Treasure Tracker Nintendo Switch. So with all that being said, I'm gonna say right now that those bonus episodes, even though they are gonna happen, they're not gonna be happening immediately, because we just wrapped up 3 Tomb Raider games in a row, and I'd kind of like a break from the series for a little bit. So that's the reason why we're gonna be having some smaller Let's Plays coming up, we'll be talking about in a moment. But real quick, I would also like to say that even though it's not going to happen for a while, I am actively working on my notes for the next Tomb Raider Let's Play. And this game is pretty big, so it may take some time to plan out. So what's going to be happening next with the channel? We have Let's Plays number 25 and 26 coming up pretty soon. The break between Let's Plays will be much shorter than usual. Obviously we're going to have to wrap up Nintendo Land first before we start those games, but after Nintendo Land is over, the break between Let's Plays will be much shorter than usual. Let's Play number 25. This is a game that's been available on other systems since before I started making videos. But the version I'm going to be playing has been out for less than a year at the time that we're recording this video. And Let's Play number 26 is going to be Portal. Before we wrap up the commentary for this episode, I would like to give some special thanks real quick. Thank you to my amazing mother and my sisters for supporting my crazy ideas throughout this project. My sister and I are big Tomb Raider fans, and they were all just so supportive during this entire series. So if you're watching this video, then you're all awesome. I'd like to give a thank you to the James Earls, Grinkerbirds Gaming, and Pink Garman, my fellow members of GAME, for helping me remain not losing my mind when doing this project. I know Tomb Raider isn't for everybody, but I do greatly appreciate your support during the series. You guys are the best people that I could be a part of a collab channel with. And one more special shout out that's kind of a big one is I'd like to give a special thanks to TheOtakuArtist, who's been doing voice acting work during the end screens of Tomb Raider Underworld. So I'm really happy that she agreed to do this, because I wasn't really sure how I wanted to do that, how I wanted to handle Laura's journal before I contacted her asking if she wanted to do the voice acting work for it, and she did a great job throughout the entire project, so thank you so much for helping me with this, and it'll be really awesome to be able to work with you again on a future project down the line at some point. Speaking of which, Laura's journal is going to be its own separate video down the line as well, because there are going to be some of you who are probably going to want to just have like a compilation of only the Laura's journal entries. So there's just going to be a compilation of all those journal entries in a single video down the line. Don't know when it's going to happen yet, but it's going to happen at some point. With all that being said, that is it for Tomb Raider Underworld, until we get around to doing the DLC. But thank you all so much for watching this Let's Play. Until next time, leave the gear to you.
Jormungandr. Jormungandr is actually a metaphor describing the mid-oceanic ridges where all the continental plates of the world meet, thus circling the Earth on the seafloor. The northernmost point of the mid-Atlantic ridge is the oldest and weakest geological point of the Earth, and the ancients built a powerful device posted to attack the planet's Achilles heel, to trigger worldwide volcanic eruptions, which would rise up and fill the air with poison. Ragnarök concludes with the world consumed with fire, caused by giants in the myth, but by volcanic eruptions in reality. Why such a device would be built might forever be beyond our ability to know. Mother. In the end, my father was right, and so was I. The thought of Mother suddenly appearing in that cold ruin at the top of the world is tragic beyond words. Whether she fell into the Ether or was cast in by the thralls, I hope it came quickly. I wish that both Mother and Father had better fates than those I discovered. But at least I learned the truth and can finally close this book and move on to another.